Hi there, welcome to another episode of The Heart of a Youth Leader. As we start to see the first shoots of hope with the government's roadmap ahead, it's important, I think, that we take some time to think through what we have been learning as youth workers and as children's workers over the past year. It would be all too easy, wouldn't it, and maybe tempting to long for what life was like pre the pandemic. But I think perhaps it's better not to look backwards, but to hope forwards and to long for a better future than our past. So with this in mind, I've been thinking of what we can learn from our experiences during this pandemic and what I have learned in talking to different youth ministers and children's and family workers recently. So here are just 5 lessons I think we need to learn from the pandemic. Lesson 1. Too much of what we do is entertainment. I've said this before and I know it's tough right from the start. I know, but I really do think that youth workers have often been more entertainers than disciple makers. I think we've longed to be liked more than we've longed to see our young people come to faith. Many of us have seen that when the entertainment has stopped, the young people have disconnected. Now, please don't misunderstand me. Having fun is such an important part of youth ministry. But it shouldn't be the main thing or the principal reason that people attend what we do. Lesson number 2. We need to help young people learn to walk daily with Jesus, whether they're with us or without us. Many young people in our youth groups assume that walking with Jesus is going to church. And we need to help them understand that they can walk with him every second of every minute of every hour of every day. We need to give them the skills, the tools to be able to connect with him. We need to help them learn how to enjoy the Bible, to talk in prayer, and to meditate and wait on him. There are so many fantastic apps available, aren't there, that can help them with that. And yet many young people just don't seem to bother. I think we need to make this our priority. Make sure that we are modelling these things too as leaders so that they can see us doing the same thing. Lesson number 3, Christian parents are the primary disciplers. Parents and leaders alike might have assumed that the youth leaders are the primary disciplers of their young people. But the pandemic has made this infinitely clearer, I think, that this is the primary role of the parents. So therefore we need to be equipping them to do this as best as they can. The reality is, I think that many, if not most of us Christian parents actually have not had fantastic models of discipleship in the home for ourselves. And so we don't really know how to do it. So as youth workers and children's workers, we need to encourage parents. We need to resource them. We need to help them to live out their faith explicitly with their children. And we need to help the parents learn how to engage their children in spiritual conversations, in prayer times, in Bible exploration. Lesson number 4 is we can use social media to keep better relationships. The use of social media amongst youth leaders has grown massively over the lockdowns. As we have looked for new ways to keep connected with our young people, we've had to turn to social media, and it's been great. Whilst we might not have been able to meet up, we have probably been in more frequent contact with our young people than we used to. Many leaders I've seen are posting messages several times each week, if not every day, and having young people check in and engage with those messages. I think this is much better than just the once per week gathering, at least as far as walking with them throughout the week is concerned. So as we re-emerge from lockdown, we need to keep using social media to keep connected during the days when we don't naturally meet together. My final lesson, my fifth lesson, is about young people's mental health. It's suffered greatly during the pandemic. And whether Christian or not, it doesn't actually seem to change the fact that most of our young people have had their mental health deteriorate over the course of the pandemic. And probably, if we're honest, the mental health of us and as leaders too has diminished. It's hardly surprising, is it, as we've been starved of so much. We've been starved of connection, of relationship, of physical touch, of community. We've been starved of communal worship. We've been starved of eating together. We are made in the image of a relational God, aren't we? And we're born into a family which reflects the Trinity, as well as belonging to the family of God. It is not God's design to be alone or separated. But what might have been possible? What could we have done to help them be more resilient had we known this pandemic was on its way? I wonder if we need to help young people be more honest, to be themselves. I wonder if we need to help them vocalise their fears and their anxieties as well. And also to help them recognise that everyone has these issues. We need to help them build friendships centred around a love for Jesus and personal daily relationship with God. You know, there are many more lessons we need to learn, but here are my 5 to start us off with. And my challenge for you this week is I wonder what lessons you think we need to learn from the pandemic. Can you take some time to write them down, share them, and make sure we learn from them? We must look forwards to the future and how much better it could be, rather than look back to how youth work used to be. Let's encourage each other to hope ahead. Go for it.